Okay, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's session of the Research Methodology Lecture Series, organized in connection with the Journal of Marginalized Communities and Social Justice. This series is designed to provide a structural academic guidance on research methodology, bringing together key methodological concepts and interdisciplinary perspectives. Today, we are very fortunate to have with us Mrs. Tiriniya Ruppala, Senior Lecturer at the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka. She is currently pursuing her PhD. She holds an MBA in Management of Technology from the University of Moratuwa, BB Management Special in Finance from University of Kelaniya. She brings extensive expertise in quantitative social research, business economics, educational technology, making her uniquely qualified to guide us in today's session. Today's session is for literature review and academic sources. In this session, you will be able to explore the purpose of literature review, searching academic databases, and find credible sources, identify theoretical perspectives. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Lidinia Ruppala to the session. Madam, you can start the session now.
Okay, thank you, Diniti. And thank you for inviting me for this session. And good to see you all in this evening. And a very good evening to you all, and good morning, good afternoon. And you are joining from all over the world. And I'm really happy to take you with this session. And today we will be discussing about what is a literature review and how we can do a literature review simply. And we will discuss main areas that we have to focus when we do a literature review. Okay, without taking much time, let me share the screen. Can you see the shared screen?
Yes, madam, we can see.
Okay, thank you. Right. So, as said, we will be discussing about how to do a literature review simply and how we can search for articles, papers, and how we ensure that the papers that we use for our literature review are credible and those are highly accepted and published at ranked journals. So we will be discussing these things in today's discussion. So these are the session objectives. We will discuss about the purpose of the literature review, and we will discuss about the databases and how we can synthesize the literature review and why theories are important and how we write about theories at the literature review, and simply how to avoid plagiarism in literature review. And finally, I will guide you through drafting a summary literature review. And yes, purpose. And we'll first see what is a literature review. So we are researchers, maybe at different levels. Maybe you are still an undergraduate or a master's student, and maybe a scholar who is reading for a PhD study. uh, Whatever the level you are, we are doing a research. So in that research, one of the main component or the initial stage of this research is to do a literature review. So what is a literature review? Ah, so we all do literature reviews. Uh, Sometimes knowing about it or maybe do not having a very good understanding about a literature review, as our supervisor says to do in this way, so we do it. Uh, so literature review is a kind of critical summary of existing research. So this word critical is important. It's not just a summary, it's a critical summary. So there we have to do something. So, and other important thing is existing research. We need existing research to do a literature review, and using existing research, we do a kind of critical summary. So in that case, we have to make a lot of discussions, we have to bring arguments, and we have to think whether the already published things, whether the already published discussions are accepted, or whether there are new things to be added. So value addition to be there. And also, it's a kind of investigation to identify what is known and what is unknown. So we do a literature review to identify what is already examined and what is known to us in the area of study. So we are researchers in different areas of studies, in different domains. It doesn't matter whatever your research area is, we do literature review. So we should have an understanding about what is done and what is already known. We don't know. Huh? So in that case, uh, we have to do a literature review. And also, it's a kind of foundation for our study. So we have to lay the foundation really well. Then only the construction or what we developed become successful, or maybe the strength of the development is depend on this foundation. So a good foundation always strengthen what we do. So literature review is a kind of foundation for our study. So why we conduct literature review there? So we know what is a literature review and why we conduct. As we discussed in the previous case, we want to understand existing knowledge. So my area of study is digital transformation. So in that case, I should know what is known about digitalization, digital transformation of the world, and what is already discussed. And how about the definitions? And how about the new findings and discussions ongoing in the world? So, to understand existing knowledge, a literature review is really important. Also, to identify research gaps. So, my study, your study, to be added something novel. So, a novelty is something mandatory for a research. So if your study do not brings a novelty for existing knowledge, or if it does not create something new, or if it doesn't add something new to existing knowledge, so it's something wasting of time. So you have to ensure that I'm addressing a kind of gap in the literature. So to identify gaps, we have to do a literature review. Otherwise, we don't know gaps of existing knowledge. And also, the same thing eliminates the duplication. So to avoid duplication, we have to do a literature review. So if you do not do a proper literature review and you start your study and you complete it, and at the end of the day, you see uh, one of the study or many of the studies have done, and those are more or less very much similar for your study. So in that case, your effort uh, is a kind of waste, because when you go for publications, you have to always highlight, you have to always, uh, you know, present and discuss about the novelty that you bring with your paper. So therefore, we have to avoid duplications. And at the early stage of our study, we have to ensure that my study is something unique, and my study is something that add value or that add something new to the existing knowledge. Also, to build a theoretical foundation, a literature review is must. So we do our study and we develop relationships, but we want to justify what we are proposing with some theories. Then only the model that you bring, the concepts that concept that you develop is validated. If you want to publish your paper at a high ranked journal, then there should be a theoretical foundation. So we should identify what theories support my study. If my study is about digitalization, digital transformation, so what kind of theories that support these concepts? So there are a lot of theories. So to understand, to learn about those theories, we should do a literature review. We have to read existing published journal papers. We have to read books, and we have to read some other publications, maybe blogs, or maybe magazine articles and journal articles, whatever. So related industrial publications that relates with your study. So these are the main purposes why we do a literature review. So you understand that what I have mentioned here is really important for our study. When we do a research, we should know existing gaps. We should know what is known. And we have to ensure that I'm not doing something which is already done. And also, I should have few theories, one or few theories that support my study. So that is why we do a literature review. And the main role of a literature review in research is to support your research problem. So you bring a research problem. You say that there is a problem like this existing. So how you say that there's a problem like that? So maybe it's a practical problem, but still you have to justify your problem with some arguments brought by previous researchers. And this is where identifying research gaps is really important. When we identify research gaps through a very good literature review, so I justify my research problem linking it to the research gaps in literature. So I will let you know, I will show you how to find research gaps uh, with a kind of literature review synthesis, and also to justify my study. So I justify my study, I justify the significance of my study with the evidence which is already discussed by previous researchers. I say that there is a problem like this. So we do not know the relationship between these two variables. And if I can justify that statement with one of the statement given by an existing researcher, so that is the justification. And if that researcher has published, if that paper is published at a very good journal, maybe Q1, Q2 journal, then that add a really good value to your justification or the problem, because it's already a recognized paper, and it highlights there is a gap in the particular knowledge area, and you try to address that gap with your research problem. So I cite and I refer to that particular article or maybe number of articles, and I try to justify my research problem using those researchers publications. Also, maybe that you do not have an understanding about the methodology of the study. Say that you have a title and you have done a kind of uh, a literature review and you wish to do a literature review and you do not have any idea about the methodology or how to do your research. We have heard that there are different kind of methodologies, uh, quantitative techniques, qualitative research, mixed method research. Uh, but I don't know what methodology exactly match to my study or what methodology gives me the very good data and what methodology support me collect relevant data for my study. So to solve that problem, we can refer to existing papers. So we refer to existing papers doing a literature review, and we see the methodologies applied by those researchers. So we see different papers. Some researchers have used quantitative analysis, some researchers have used qualitative analysis, and some have used mixed method analysis. So we use those good articles, good papers as base articles. And then we can follow the same methodologies. If those are published at ranked journals, then without having any doubt, even you can use the same methodology. But you have to give the proper reference to the article that you followed. And with that, you can solve that problem. And you refer to number of papers and maybe number of quantitative papers. And those researchers have used or employed the quantitative methodology maybe in different ways. And referring to those papers, you develop one of your own methodology in quantitative analysis. So it really support you develop your methodology. If I take the example, if my topic is about digital transformation of organizations, and I want to know what is already known about this, then I have to do a very good literature review. And also, I want to know what is missing. So, literature review will give me answers for this because I can identify gaps in literature through the literature review. So, that is the main role of literature review. And also, when we write a literature review, we will be discussing about how to write a literature review a bit later. But now I give you that advice. What students try to do, they refer to number of papers and they just take they just highlight the important areas or the relevant areas, and then they copy those relevant things and try to make a summary of that in your paper. But that is not a literature review. Or just summarizing articles and writing your literature review chapter is not a right literature review. So instead, you should critically analyze the findings or the discussions of previous researchers. And you have to link studies with proper justification or with a valid flow. So maintaining a flow of writing a literature review is really important. I will show one of the few papers to have an understanding in coming few slides. And at the beginning, I want to just tell you that summarizing articles is not a literature review. Right? We have to read these articles carefully, and we have to take the important facts and we have to write them by ourselves by citing the relevant researcher. And we go through the articles and then we may identify similar things discussed by many of the researchers or few of the researchers. Then what we do, we start discussing about that particular factor, and we mentioned and we discussed about uh, the points highlighted by each and every researcher, giving the credit to them by citing their names at the paragraph, and we write our own paragraph. So that brings the uniqueness to your literature review. So you write your own one and take in only relevant uh, facts from existing articles. Okay. So in that part, I just wanted to give you a kind of introductory understanding about doing a literature review, and we will move forward and we'll discuss how to do literature review when we reach the latter part of the discussion. And now I will take few minutes to guide you to search in academic databases, and I will guide you uh, on how to find good papers. And there are a lot of sources available. Maybe you already have an understanding about this. You may have already obtained access and you access these databases. Google Scholar is one of the famous search engine of researchers. So as I believe, as I understand, if you search at Google Scholar, wherever the article is published, it appears at Google Scholar. And through that, for the initial search, you can use Google Scholar, because most of the uh, published articles, uh, ranked articles, are available, and the link you can find through Google Scholar. Maybe that you can't access the full article through the given link, but anyway, to find papers, you can use Google Scholar, and you can go to Scopus database, Web of Science, Taylor and Francis, and also you can access the university databases. And your universities may have already acquired databases uh, with subscription basis. So you can access to those databases and you can download full articles. And these are some of the popular databases among social science researchers. Maybe the area of research is different in your case, but uh, in most of the cases, social science researchers, these databases and search engines are very popular, and you can search them, search your papers by accessing to these databases. So here, if I show you the links, so Google Scholar, I hope you all are familiar with Google Scholar. So you can just go to Google and search Google Scholar, or you can go here and type Scholar, Google Scholar, and you come to the interface, and you can have your own profile. As researchers, we manage our own profiles at Google Scholar. So all your publications, uh, are listed the Google Scholar profile. So here at the Google Scholar, you can search papers and also Scopus. Scopus database is also a source that you can use to search papers. There are search options. I will show you how to search. And Web of Science platform, you can use this to search articles. And Taylor and Francis, this is another place that you can find articles. And also Emerald Insight, you can use this database as well. So, and using whatever the database, you can find articles. And important thing here is how you find articles and also whether the articles that you found are credible. So we'll discuss how to ensure the credibility of the papers that you use in your literature review. And when you search papers at these databases, you have to use key terms. In your research, you have key terms. So, as I given here as examples, maybe digitalization, digital transformation, organizational performance, sustainability, change management, or whatever relevant to your study. You know what are the key terms, and then you have to use those key terms when you search articles at databases. And the other thing is we can use these Boolean operators. So Boolean operators means the terms that we use to support or, yes, so to find most relevant articles for your study. So here there are three main Boolean operators: and, or, not. Here, and we used to narrow down the search. So in the case of using and, say that I am searching about digital transformation and without using Boolean operators. So for example, I am searching here at Taylor and Francis. When you go to Taylor and Francis and search option, even you can see under advanced search, they have mentioned about these Boolean operators. They say that the Boolean operators and, or, and not can be applied to search terms, and to search for document containing two or more terms. For example, the following query, yes, cat and dog, right? So how you search here, when you go to search option, you may search at the title, or you may search at the keywords of the article. So in the article abstract, each and every article presents its keywords. So at keywords, we can search. So if I type here digitalization and something else. Say for example, if I want to narrow down this for SMEs, so I will just put SMEs. So I want to find articles on digitalization which are done for SMEs. So here there's a plus sign, you can select it and you can add some more things as well. So keywords or whatever the thing you can use, and you can search, right? And also, you can set the dates, the last date, maybe within a year, or you can customize the year range. If you search from 2010 to 2026, you will find articles and you can click on search. And the O is to find articles. So see here. So I use the Boolean operator and I search. So I have found 111 results. See here, keyword digitalization and keyword SMEs. And I restricted the search for the period 1st January 2010 to 31st December 2026. So I have found 111 papers. So digitalization, digital transformation. Even though I requested, the database provides me all relevant papers. So we can go through these articles and we can download the most relevant articles. Okay, so similarly, in other uh, search engines or databases, you can use the Boolean operators. Here, when you enter the search term, you can use and or not. Say that you don't want to have a, a particular term in the paper. So you can put not. If I take the same example what I did previously, so I put digitalization, not SMEs. So then I will find articles, all articles uh, without papers relating to SMEs, right? And also I may search for digitalization and not digital transformation. I want papers specifically done about digitalization. It's one of the levels of digital transformation. Digital transformation is the next level. So then I will use not. O, I can use O, right? So I may use here. Yes, so let me go to advanced search. Here, I have to go to advanced search again. If you use Taylor and Francis. When you search, always use this advanced search option. At whatever the database, this advanced search option is available. At Google Scholar, advanced search option is available at this drop down. At this left-hand right top corner, you can see there are 3 lines. If you click on these 3 lines, you can find advanced search option. Then again, you can search, right? So you can put the words here uh, and you can use Boolean operators. And also Scopus, also you can use the search option. Here actually journals are also presenting and you can filter these things. And at the Web of Science as well, you can search. And Emerald also you can use Boolean operators. And there are other options as well. And from one database to other, available options are different. So it doesn't matter. So with the available options, we can try our best to find good papers. And most of the good papers are available in one or few of these databases. So you can find the paper in accessing to whatever the database. And as I showed you, you can customize searching using advanced search options. And here, the Emerald, you can see the journals and you select a particular journal relevant to your study, and then you can search accordingly. So, as time is moving, I will go back to the session. And I just want to guide you on how to search using advanced search option and using Boolean operators. So before that, you have to have key terms of your study. You have to identify the key terms of your study. Key terms means the areas that you study. So those terms will be listed down under your abstract as the keywords of your study. And you search papers, relevant papers to your study using these key terms. Or maybe later these key terms from to narrow down the search. Right. So filters, I just showed to you how you can use the filters. So you can select the years. Maybe that if you want recent papers, you can only access to last 5 years. And if you need last 10 years papers, you can select accordingly. And you can select peer review journals. And you can select articles based on your subject area. And when you search, you can select whether you want journals or whatever the source. Here, if you go to here, Emerald database, you have options, journals, books, case studies, and other collections, and so on. So I click on journals and I search here. So I want to use the advanced search option. So I click on advanced search option of the Emerald database, and I come here and I enter the key terms. If you use Boolean operators, you can use them. And if you know the name of the author specifically, maybe if you find the name from a previous paper, then you can put the name and you can search. And also you can put the date range, and you can select journals and so on. Right. So these are a few of the practical tips for you to support. Start broad. And if your study is about something specific about digital transformation, but you study searching about digital transformation, and then step by step, you can narrow down. And you saw how I searched about digitalization and SMEs, and we found 111 papers. Then again, we can narrow down searching, maybe using same set of data. And at the meantime, you can save the useful articles. When you go through the articles, you find some articles are really important, and then you can save those articles. If you feel that this paper uh, is really important, and then you can click on the paper and you can see whether it is freely available for you to download. If it's freely available for you to download, you can download it. If not, you can add it to one of the referencing databases that you use. So, being a researcher, always try to use a reference management software. So, maybe that you already use a reference management software, but if you are not, If you just download papers and save those in one of the folders in your computer, please start using a reference management software today onwards. So here I have given two popular reference management softwares, Zotero and Mendeley. You can use them free of charge, and you can just go to the search and type Zotero.org, and you just type Zotero and search. You will come to the Zotero homepage, and then you can download Zotero for your computer. And when you download the application, and you can open it in your computer, and then you can synchronize, or you can link it to your Word document. All the instructions are available and given by these reference management softwares. So you can uh, do this by yourself actually. And there are a lot of YouTube videos that you can refer and you can watch, and you can see how to install a reference management software to your computer. So I'm not taking time from this session as it take nearly 15 to 30 minutes. I hope you can do it by yourself. So once you download it to your computer, and you can use the plugin to the search uh, engine that you use, or the search uh, maybe that you use the Google Chrome or Mozilla or Microsoft. So you can uh, plug it to the particular search engine, and then you can save the articles that you refer to your particular reference management application. So there are a lot of YouTube videos available. So you please refer and try to download one of the reference management software. So when you download and you open it in your computer, you will see it in this way. So then you can have your own library. You can use your own library, and you can create folders, and you can easily add papers to this database, right? So here, say for example, see, once you, and Mendeley is also same, right? Mendeley is also same. Mendeley is also one of the freely available reference management software. So you can download it for your computer, and then you can sign in using the browser as well, and you can synchronize it to your desktop application. You can easily save articles to the database that you search online. So here, just to show you, when you open a paper here, if you have already installed a reference management application, and if you have added the plugin or the linking application here, by clicking on this particular option. So this is the Zotero option. And when you click that Zotero option, it shows your library. And then you can select whatever the folder, and you can simply, you can select the folder, and you can simply save that article. And when you go back to your desktop application, and you will find the article already added to your database. In this way, you can save all related articles to the database or the reference management software that you use. And the next step is you can link the particular reference management application to your Word document, And when you start writing your literature review, you can take the citation easily from the reference management software. See here, as I am using Sotero reference management software, so I have added Sotero to the Word application as an add-on. You can add it as an add-on, and then you can add citations. So here you can say, for example, I am writing something explained by one of the existing researchers, and I want to cite him here, and I go to add citation, add edit citation. I have to use the relevant citation style. I am using APA style, and then I have to give the name. Say, for example, you see here, it is that much user friendly. This is the latest article I download, the SME paper. So Sotero shows me the relevant paper. So if I want to, cite this paper, I can select it. And say, for example, I have the list of papers, and I can search from the name of the author. So when I type first 2, 3 letters of the name of the author, all the relevant articles are appear. So I can select the relevant article and I press enter. So it is added. Then I write something else, and then I can add another citation. So likewise, we can easily bring them to the paper. And also at the end, when you develop your reference list also, you can generate it using the Sotero add-on. And all the things that you have cited is within 1 second, you can take them into the reference list. So please start using one of these reference management software. Before start writing your literature review, please download one of the reference management software and link it to your search engine, and also link it to your Word document. And all the guidelines are given at the homepage of the relevant reference management software. And if you still want some ideas, you can refer to freely available YouTube videos. Okay. And then I will quickly move. That is about searching articles. And we discussed about search engines, and we discussed about advanced search options. And also, I just guided you to how to, save articles to use in your literature review. And then we'll quickly move to the how we can evaluate the credible sources, how we can ensure that we are using accepted and valid research papers. And to inform you that not all papers are reliable. There are a lot of papers are published in your area of study. Maybe that you find very much similar, and maybe that you find that methodology is really support your study. But you have to ensure whether it is a reliable publication. And also, we have to avoid misinformation. We have to ensure that the information is accurate, the information is correct. So, in that case, to ensure the articles that I'm referring and I'm using in my literature review are valid, we can use one of the international journal ranking tools. So in social science research, we use ABDC ranking and Simago journal ranking. And Through that, we can check the journal impact factor. So here, the journal impact factor means uh, that gives the understanding of the average number of citations of the recent articles published at that particular journal. So if the average number of citations of the papers of that journal is high, means it's a very good journal. So you can check for GIF, and also you can check for ABDC ranking and also Simago. So if I quickly go through ABDC ranking, if you search ABDC ranking, you will come to the Australian Business Deans Council website, and you can see the journal quality list, and you can download the journal quality list. So here, uh, 2025 ABDC journal quality list. You can download the paper, download the list, and if you open it, you will find the journals which are already listed at this ABDC ranking list here, this one. So you can check whether the paper that you are using and its journal is a rank paper. So just to show an example, see, this is one of the papers uh, I just read today. And here we will find the journal. The journal name is Systems, right? So the journal name is Systems. And we want to see whether this Systems journal is a ranked journal. So in this list, yes, even you can scroll down and see whether the particular journal is listed under ABDC, but I don't find systems is listed under ABDC, and the other option that you have is Simago ranking. So if you go to Simago journal ranking, Simago journal and country rank, then you can search the journal here. If I type systems and I search the journal, we see here. So there are a lot of yes, as the word is systems, there are a lot of journals appearing. So if it's difficult to find, you can go through all these tabs and find. If I go to the last one, maybe that appears. Okay, otherwise you can quickly search at Google. Systems, journal ranking. Yes, we'll search. Here, see here, when I type systems journal ranking, it's listed and ranked at Simago. So it gives the link directly. We can go through this one. Okay. And we come back again to the Simago journal and country rank. The same same site, and as it was difficult for me to search among these tabs, I just used Google and got the support. I came back to the same, and you see systems is available at Simago ranking, and you can see the level Q2. It is a Q2 journal. It's a good journal. Q1, Q2, Q3. Q4 means the ranking, Scimago ranking. And there, if those journals are ranked with the levels Q1 and Q2 are, comparatively good journals. So at least you have to ensure that the particular journal is listed even with Q3 or Q4. And if those are not listed, either of these, global rankings, please do not use that particular paper. So I just checked whether this article is a credible source. So I searched the journal uh, and I just ensure whether it is listed under ABDC or Scimago ranking. And I got to know that it's a Q2 journal. So now I do not have any doubt. I can use this paper for my literature review. So you can cite this paper, and it's one of the good papers. So in that way, you have to ensure all the articles that you use are reliable. So if the articles, or please make sure the articles that you add to your reference management system are reliable articles. Do not add this and that and everything to the reference management software. uh, Even though it is very much similar for your, very much supportive for your study. If it's not reliable, there's a risk of using it. Because why I'm telling you, when you develop a paper, your own paper, then you don't want to worry at the end of the day, because even since the beginning you are using reliable sources. So otherwise, if you use this and that and everything, when you develop a paper for a good journal, then you will have to check for pediatric journals, and you will have to remove those contents and the journals and papers from your literature review. Then sometimes half of the review may uh, eliminated. You will have to remove the half of the content. So without going to that level, from the beginning, please ensure the sources that you download, the sources that you add to your reference management software are reliable. Always check with the ABDC, or else go to Scimago ranking and type the name of the journal and search. And if it's difficult, go to Google and search and see whether it is a good journal. Okay. Then when you evaluate, you can see the author credibility. You can see whether this is a real author. You can see its credibility in the journal reputation, as we check now, and the publication year is really important. And we always guide researchers to use recent papers. Please use recent papers, because then only we are going with a valid research gaps. And if we use old papers and we go with the research gaps and the justifications given by old papers, and that is the kind of that does not support and that does not enrich the content of your study. So if you start your study today, please refer to articles after 2020. So go with recent publications and go with 2026 papers. Try to find 2026 papers as your base articles. And you may find some of the old articles to support the theories. That is okay, because we may use some old theories to support our arguments. In that case, citing to one of the old articles is okay. But if you come up with some arguments and if you try to justify your arguments, you have to support with recent publications. And also the citation count to the relevant paper is also important. If that paper is a highly cited paper, then it says that it's a good paper. And also it's a reliable and the content discussed by the paper is really important. Mm, Yes, so these are the sources we can use. We can use peer-reviewed journals as we discuss, and we can use books, and we can use blogs and Wikipedia information, LinkedIn post, but you have to use them wisely, and also you have to see whether the information available in these sources are reliable. So there are issues of reliability. So therefore, if it's academic research, always go with peer-reviewed journals and journal papers and academic books. And also how to, cite these things are given by APA guidelines or Harvard guidelines. Whatever the referencing style that you use, you can refer to those sources. And as advised, go with high quality papers, and the risk is high in the case of unknown sources. So we'll do our literature review with high quality papers. And the final checklist is you have to ensure whether it is peer reviewed. Peer reviewed means those papers are reviewed by number of reviewers, or maybe it's a blind review or maybe not, but expert in the industry are reviewed those papers and given comments, and those papers are developed uh, with multiple revisions and publish those at these journals. So peer-reviewed journal papers are not the papers are just drafted and published. Those are undergone number of revisions, major revisions, minor revisions, and finally published. So those are high quality publications. And we have to ensure whether those are recent and relevant. We have to see whether those are relevant. Okay, and we'll go to how to synthesize the literature review now with all the understandings what we discussed so far. So when you synthesize the review, in that case, what we do, we try to combine the discussions of multiple studies. So we do not write our literature review referring to one particular paper. So it's not a literature review. We have to refer number of papers and bringing facts from those relevant papers, and we develop our own literature review. So we combine multiple studies and we try to find patterns and relationships of those discussions, and we try to disclose those patterns in our papers. So it's not just writing about study one says this, study two says this. It's not a literature review. It's something what I said at the beginning, summarizing papers. So literature review is we refer the article, we understand, and we write our own paragraph. And we say that author A, B, C is telling there is something like this, and there is a relationship between this and this, and so on. So that is synthesizing. So in that case, we can use thematic approach. It means we've identified themes or we identify variables and we start the discussion on those themes. And we discuss all the arguments which are brought by existing researchers on that theme and with a flow. And or maybe you go with variables. So we have variables in our study, and we discussed about what the other researchers have discussed about variables. Or maybe we discussed about the findings. We write about their findings. So in that way, you can develop develop the write up of the paper. So I will quickly show you referring to one of my latest publications. So these two literature review papers I have published very recently, and this was published in December. It was published in January in this year. So it's a kind of literature review, and here I will show you how I have uh, brought the discussion. So here, if you ask this paper itself a literature review, I have used a separate structure in the literature review paper. But when you write a literature review part of a normal paper or a research study, it is different, right? So yes, I will first show you that one, and I will come back to the paper. So this is the previous paper that we referred, which discussed about digital transformation and SME. So if I go to the literature review section of this paper, you can see how that author has discussed. Here, digital transformation in SME. So it's one of the themes. So he has used this theme and he discussed. And here you can see how they have given the citation. So they bring the argument and cite, and then talk about this study, mage study, my study. So in that case, this paper, my paper, is about this. So we support with the literature and we talk about our thing, and again we support the discussion that we brought with the arguments or facts from some other papers. So likewise, it's a kind of write-up that combining facts from literature, adding your own contents, and again supporting with literature and writing your own things and so on. But there should be a flow. Even when you talk about digital transformation and SMEs, you have to maintain a kind of flow, right? And then you go to the next theme. So this may be a variable, a theme or the variable. So we discussed what recent researchers have discussed about digital governance and performance. So these are from literature, but not exact, phrases from that paper. These are not copy pasted sentences. Referring to the paper, the author has written the sentence and given the citation, right? So if you straight away copy and paste, that is a kind of plagiarism. So you can't do so. So you read the paper, get the idea, and you write your own sentence and you cite the author. So in that way, you start writing. Right? So if you develop a literature review paper, it is everything about literature, and we make an arguments of all available literature, and finally try to bring something novel, bring the existing gap to the discussion. So, so those are called as literature review papers or the concept papers. You can, when you complete your literature review, you can uh, draft a paper based on your literature review. And then uh, the findings of your literature review can be presented and you can publish those at very good journals. And this is published at this International Journal of Social Technology, and it is the Q3 journal. And the other recent publication of us is published at Cogent Business and Management. Uh, it is a Q2 journal. It is also a good journal, and it is also a systematic literature review. Systematic literature reviews are very popular nowadays. So there is a methodology of doing a systematic literature review. So following those guidelines, we can do systematic literature reviews as well. So, uh, so as I showed to you, based on themes, we can start the discussion, or based on variables, we can start the discussion, or maybe based on their findings and identified variables and relationships, we can discuss the literature available with existing findings. Okay, so before start writing literature review section or literature review part of your study, you can create a kind of synthesis matrix. So this synthesis matrix really helps you to identify uh, most relevant papers that you have to use in your literature review. So you can develop a kind of Excel sheet with these columns, or you can add some more columns just to show you this kind of Excel sheet, right? So you put the year here and the paper title, author's name, and objective of the paper, methodology, and their main findings, and most importantly, future research directions. So if you go to a paper, that paper gives you future research directions. So how you fill that table? You open this article and take in facts. You can copy paste the facts for this table. It doesn't matter because you don't publish this table now. So you can copy paste the title, author's name from the article. From this article, you can copy paste them, and then you can, from the abstract, you can have a lot of information, and you fill this table. And to find future research directions, you can scroll down and you can go to the latter part of the paper. If you go here, the last section, limitations and future research. So as researchers, if you want to find gaps in existing literature, the most important section is this. So this section discusses the limitations of this paper, and also these authors gives guidelines for future research. So they say that future research can focus on these area. See here, future studies could explore moderators such as environmental turbulence, regulatory pressure, technology readiness, leadership style, organizational agility, and so on. So maybe these gaps support your research problem. And if you still do not have a research problem for your study, you can first do the literature review and you can make this summary table and you find the problem through that table, right? So you develop this table, and if I show you one of the thing I have already done, So this is one of the table I developed for maybe years organizational performance, uh, adding papers on organizational productivity. So then I have added a lot of columns. So it depends, right? If you want to have a lot of information, you can add the columns. And also you can improve this further. At the initial stage, you may have few columns just to collect information that are needed, but later you can add more. So paper title, author, problem, objective, and I have added the theories column because it is also important for us, methodology and their main findings and their future research directions. So this is really important, and also you can have your own remark. So likewise, you can develop a synthesis matrix. So when you develop a synthesis matrix, you get the summary of all articles to this table. So at the initial stage, we downloaded articles to the reference management software, and then uh, these articles you can add to the summary of these articles, which are saved at the reference management software, can be added to the synthesis matrix. And to have a research problem, you can carefully go through this future research directions column. If you carefully go through future research directions column, you may find some of the areas, some of the factors are highlighted by many of the researchers. If you find one particular thing, one particular theme is highlighted by few of the researchers, that is obviously an important area for a study. So you can start your study in that particular area. So through future research directions, you can find the gaps of existing literature. And then you can develop your study to address those gaps. So literature review support us to find gaps. And we only search articles with some of the key terms. But now, uh, as a result of that search and this analysis, we find the research problem of our study. We find existing gaps relevant to the area of our study that we search using key terms. So in that way, you can find the research problem and you can justify, find the gaps of existing research and so on. Right. Without taking time, quickly go to the theoretical perspective. Actually, I discussed something about this. So literature support us to find relevant theories. So all the authors in their papers talk about relevant theories of the themes that they discuss or the relationships that they discuss. So if your study is about one of those, you can use the same theory and you can find the relevant theories from literature. So if you go here in this paper, the author may have discussed about theories in the literature review part. So this is the literature review. And he may have discussed about theories. If you carefully go through, you will find actually. Yes, if you come to this, in his paper, under conceptual framework and hypothesis development, theoretical foundation is also given. See here, they have used resource-based view theory, dynamic capability theory, institutional perspective, TOE framework. These theories they have used, right? So if your research is also on the same area, so if it's on digital transformation, so we understand these theories support my study as well. So if I go to the review done by myself, I too used, uh, you know, same theories. So here we have used resource-based weave theory. So which is one of the popular theory used in digital transformation research. And also there are some other theories. So to find and have an understanding about what theories relates to my study, literature review really help us. And it gives us the academic foundation. Theories means already established and proven and tested in number of times. So without having any doubt, we can use those theories to support our arguments. So that gives very good academic support for our study, and it strengthens our argument. And theories always strengthen our arguments. Okay, finally, as now a lot of students are talking about plagiarism and how to, avoid this plagiarism and so on. I just wanted to give you an idea about this. Actually, plagiarism is using some of others' content or ideas without giving a proper credit. So if you use something already published, something already disclosed in existing papers as your own thing, it is plagiarism. So you can use it, and you have to cite the authors, and you can put the references, and you can give the due recognition or the due credit to the relevant authors. So if you copy paste the content, it comes under plagiarism. And if you do not paraphrase, so we always ask researchers and we try to paraphrase the content. We read the content and we write our own understanding, and we try to paraphrase and we use it in our uh, literature review. And we never use the same paragraph as it is. And we should not paraphrase the same contents and use them in your content. So you have to read those carefully, and you have to write your own arguments and your own paragraphs, and you can get them improved by using whatever the AI tool, that is okay. And don't ask AI to write paragraph on behalf of yourself. You write the paragraph and ask AI to improve it or paraphrase it. Then use that content. That is okay. And if you miss citations, again, it is a kind of plagiarism. You have to cite properly. So in this case, to avoid plagiarism, you can paraphrase properly, and you can cite the sources, and you can refer and add the source to the reference list. Then without any issue, you can use the contents or the discussions brought by existing researchers. Right. Finally, how to structure your literature review. So there is no any specific structure. You have the freedom of structuring, but there should be a flow. When you write the literature review section, you can start with the kind of introduction, supporting the paragraphs with literature, and you can go with thematic discussions as we saw. Or else you can start discussions with your variables. You go with variable headings, or you go with themes of your study, and you continue the discussion. And finally, you bring a conceptual framework based on previous studies. You come up with your own model, and you support using theories, and you highlight the gaps in existing literature. And with that, you can conclude the literature review. So normally, the outcome of the literature review is identifying existing gaps, and also it justify your research problem, and it justify your conceptual model. If it's about a qualitative study, you may come up with the conceptual model, and that is the outcome of the literature review, and you develop some of the hypotheses based on existing literature and support with theories, and that is the outcome of the literature review. And also in qualitative research, also in themes, you can write the literature review nicely. So it is a kind of thematic discussion if it's a qualitative discussion, qualitative paper. And so you ended up with a kind of a discussion on what is next, and or the gap of existing studies. And then your study is or your methodology that followed by the literature review is to find how to address the gap that you discussed through the literature review. So then at the methodology, we discuss how we do it. And at the analysis section, we collect data and analyze. And finally, we give the conclusion. That's how the full research is going. Okay, so as writing tips, I always encourage students to be critical. Always be critical when you write. Read many papers and get their ideas. Write your own thing and add some novelty and see the relationships, and identify the pattern and critically bring the argument. And it always add value to your paper. And you can use beautiful linking words. Do not just start a paragraph. Use linking words and maintain a logical flow. If you read good papers, you will find those literature reviews are nicely written. The authors are using linking words, and there's a flow. And so it always helps readers to understand what this discussion is all about. So these are some of the tips for a good paper. So if you follow these tips, you can easily get your paper published at good journals. And these are the common mistakes that we do. You do not follow any structure. You just take something from somewhere else and you paste it, and you see, and you think that that is the literature review. No, it's wrong. And there's no any critical analysis. There's no any argument that you develop, and no research gap. It's a kind of discussion of existing literature. This is very common in literature reviews. We just discuss what is already done, but there's no any gap. So we discuss what is already done, but we have to bring what is not discussed. What is the gap of the literature? So we link our study to the gap. So that is the final outcome of the literature review. Okay, so this is the activity that I open for you to do by yourself as the outcome of this session. You can select your topic and find 3 to 5 very good articles in the way that we searched, as I advised you, using advanced search, and also check whether these are indexed, and then ensure that these are good papers or the reliable papers, and then you identify themes and start writing your literature review section. Before that, you can create this chart. So you can add your 5 papers to this chart, and you complete this chart. And based on that information and referring to the original paper, you can write your literature review. So you give an introduction first, and you give what you wish to do through this literature review discussion, and you go with the thematic discussion, maybe with themes or maybe with variables, and then you discuss about those variables. You may start discussing about the definitions of the variable, then you start discuss about the factors of that particular variable, then you discussed about the existing findings of that variables, and so on. And finally, you can bring the research gaps. Uh, so you can bring research gaps independently about those variables. And overall, at the end, you can discuss, you can bring the uh, research gap of your study, or linking all the variables and themes. What is the existing knowledge gap and what you try to address? That is the outcome of the literature review. Okay, so with that, let me wind up this discussion. Actually, as we are limited with time, I quickly went through the contents, but I believe that you may gain some of the important points and facts. And if time permits, we can discuss something more if you have any questions. Madhura, do we give them time or? Yes. Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, madam. If you have another 5 minutes,
Yeah.
there are some questions that they have put forward in the chat.
Okay, I will check.
Yeah.
How to give reference. One student is asking about how to give references. Actually, if you are using a reference management software, you can easily take references, as I already showed to you. If you do not have a reference management software, you can do it by using this option available at Word, right? Even if you go to references, here you can go to manage sources, and you can add articles, right? And also you can thereafter, once you add all the papers, you can insert citations from that. But it is as we have a lot of freely available reference management softwares, I encourage you to go with Sotero or Mendeley or whatever the other user-friendly reference management software. So it's really easy, and it will take maximum of 30 minutes for you to uh, download it and link it to your Word document and to your search engine. For literature review, we should refer to read papers or thesis which is published. Yes, we have to refer to already published papers. As I said, you have to go with reliable articles. So please check the rankings of the journals. You can go with ABDC ranking or Simago ranking, Q1, Q2, likewise, and only go with those papers. Those are quality articles. Then you don't have any doubt about your content. So even later, you can easily make a publication, with your literature review. Yes, if you do a systematic literature review, the same way, but there's a methodology. If you do a systematic literature review, you can either use Prisma or other systematic review guidelines. If you go with Prisma, the Prisma standard gives you uh, all information on how to do the literature review. So in that case, from the initial stage, you have to have your own records. So in that case, say that if you search at Taylor and Francis, and then I hope you can remember that we got 111 papers. So you have to note it down. Taylor and Francis, initially you got 111 papers, and then how you screen. Likewise, there's a methodology for you to follow in the case of systematic literature reviews. And then there's a flow of writing systematic literature review papers. There are very good papers available. Please search and read those good papers, and then you will get the understanding. Yes, we will share the table format. No problem. Yes, actually, as I told you, you can't use any of the content without citing. You have to cite. So if you use it without cite, it is plagiarism. And yes, students do, they take the content and they paraphrase and add it to your content. And it is also not ethical. So being an ethical researcher, you always have to give the due credit to the relevant researcher. And also, it add value to your paper. If you cite good papers, that automatically add value to your paper. So nobody will accept anything that you are telling if you are not a reputed researcher. So we can tell anything, but there's no any validation. So that's why we cite. Therefore, please try to cite. And then if it's a good paper, that value is added to your paper as well. So that's why we use citations and references. So you can paraphrase, that's okay, but not the direct content. Always try to write your own paragraph in your Word document. You may refer to many of the papers and take facts and write your own paragraph, and then give it to AI to write properly, and give it to AI to paraphrase, and then use that content. That is not plagiarism because it's your own write-up. And then to the relevant places, you can cite. To the relevant places, you can cite the reputed researchers. That is how you enhance the quality of your writing. Yes, if you write a qualitative paper, literature review is same. Only thing is, you can go with themes. So at the end of the literature review, you don't come up with any conceptual framework or hypothesis. In that case, you bring arguments about your themes and you ended up with the gaps. And you can use the same format, and please refer to very good qualitative papers. Then you will find the writing style and also the structure of the paper. Yes, thematic discussion and introduction is different because at the introduction part, we just try to give an understanding about what we are discussing at the literature review section. And thereafter, so it gives the overall understanding about your themes and what you are trying to do through this analysis and so on. And there also you can cite. It doesn't matter. And the thematic discussion or the variable discussion is the continuation of the literature review. Citation software freely available. Please search. You will easily download. As I showed to you, you can have Sotero. You can download this application. And even if you want to use Mendeley, you can download it. Yes. So actually, AI tools to conduct Prisma. For my understanding, we can't use a particular AI tool to do the Prisma, but AI tools support you to do the systematic analysis in line with Prisma. But the case is the validity. So always when AI do something, it always does it with available information, and the quality of the content is doubtful. Therefore, please do this by yourself. And if you have any doubt, let AI to do this again, and you can just check it. And do not depend on AI. Do it by yourself. Then only the quality added to your paper. And also you can prevent from plagiarism. Mm, yes. Anything else? I think that's all, Madhura.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
all.
madam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, madam. So we have come to at the end of the session. So I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mrs. Dirini Arupala for sharing her valuable knowledge and insights with us today. Madam, thank you very much. Your
Yeah.
guidance on literature review and academic sources has been truly informative and beneficial for all of us. I would also like to thank all the participants for your time, interest, and active presence throughout the session. We hope this session has supported your research journey and helped you move one step closer to developing a strong publishable study. Thank you all once again, and we look forward to seeing you in the upcoming sessions of the Research Methodology Lecture Series.
Okay. Thank you all and have a nice day. So see you again. All the very
Thank
best
you.
for the enthusiastic researchers. Okay.